Hey everybody, and my name's Brian, and I'm just gonna start asking some questions. How many of you already set up your white label? Anyone in here that already did that? Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. So this whole system is Avoca Data. There's multiple pieces to it. It originally started with this section, which is dashboard one, that we call it. This is data that you can download for yourself. The very first step to use Avoca Data is to sign up for the $0 plan, and you get 100 free leads, and you can test any of the intent databases. There's over 300 different databases online with different leads of different intent, different keywords people searched up, and all of that. This dashboard one is the first version of Avoca Data. You can find any type of business records, people who are business owners, directly through the Secretary of State. So these are all government records, and we skip trace them for the owner's name all the way over to the personal contact information. Same thing with homeowners. These are all tax assessments. So if you want to contact homeowners, you pay taxes. You can reach out to different homeowners in all 50 states. If you want to make an email list or a phone list, we have these switches here where if you were to flip these and hit enter, there's 23 million people that have both a cell phone and an email. Each database has different filters. With this database, you have a lot of functionality to filter by what the house is, because it's off a tax assessment, so square foot, purchase year, income, the price they paid, the size of the property, the beds, the bath, and the city, state, location. Now, the new thing we've added is this custom database and unlock database. So this button unlock database is going to open into this new dashboard called dashboard 3. So dashboard 3 is going to allow you to build your custom database package. So right now you can provide us any set of keywords, and from those keywords we can build various databases, and then you can see them in this section here. It's a little bit more difficult to get an idea of everything that's here. So if you were to go flip this admin switch, you enter into the agency side. And within the agency side, there's a giant marketplace of providers that you can add custom databases from. So last night I just uploaded, what did I do? Your student loan, people who play PlayStation, people who look up lavender products, people who are looking for Ozempic or GSP, gutters, people looking for doorbell cameras. People come to us for everything, and we have the ability to provide whatever it is. You just have to give us a variety of keywords that we can use, and those keywords will end up pulling records. So this is a database of people who looked up Sequoia startup word for word, Sequoia being the venture capital company, people who were looking at private jets, luxury transportation, February 25th, so on and so forth. There is a lot. Custom golf cart, CNN, Sequoia, private jet, Fox News, social justice, home security, anything you need, anything. There's 26 million or so keywords. Now, when you find a database you like, what's changing in the system is you can view product and add the cart. You'll be able to check out from this screen, which will bring you back to this screen. Each set of keywords is, the first one's $4.99, and a set of keywords is any combination of this. So if you were going to come and say, I just need people who, what do I want to?
Commercial
And
cleaning.
39 exchanges.
I'll do commercial cleaning first, because the other one, that would be a different thing, commercial cleaning. So we hit commercial cleaning. We have people who actually look up commercial cleaning, people who are showing interest, services, cleaning of offices, retail stores. So if we zoom in, we have all these categories here. This will open right now because we're on the dev site. It's not going to open. So this feature is fully going to come out on the 1st of March. So on the 1st of March, you'll be able to get to this portal from here, figure out the database you want, pay the $4.99, then reselect the database you want, and then it will appear here. It sometimes takes up to 24 hours to populate because all of it's real. It's built for you. So first question people ask, do other people have the same leads? Do other people have the other person's phone number? I can tell you, I can tell you how many people have the data in our system that you have, but it's people's phone numbers, and there's other sources people can get this data. It's not just us, but I would say there really isn't any overlap unless you're doing solar or health insurance. Of course there's overlap because that's very common, but at the same time you have millions of people looking it up. So there is a lot of,
and I would add on this that two things. Intent data is not just a single motion, so it's not like just a Google search. It's they're doing research or showing intent that they're going to really engage in this sort of topic, subject matter, or service. The other thing that I would say is that when you're pulling your database, it's a snapshot in time, and your 7 days is not going to be the same as the next person's or the last person's 7-day snapshot either.
And last week, or on Friday, a lot of people were asking for this feature. and I just put it out. I just have to test it. And obviously our UI is getting filled up with stuff. That's why this is the first version of everything, because I'm very pragmatic in terms of the engineering sense. So if you have any suggestions on how things can look, we're always open to that. But once you find the specifics, and if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat, raise your hand. We'll stop right then and there to answer it. So any questions to this point?
Go ahead, Case. I got Case and then I got Lloyd.
Can you hear me? Sorry, it was muted.
Yep, there you go.
So I run scrapers to pull permit data in certain zip codes off like county websites. I can upload that into the marketplace and sell it to other subscribers. Is that how I'm understanding it?
Oh, you're awesome. Yes, that's exactly how it works. So
Awesome.
we're figuring out the best way in reality to have everything intersect. That is one thing that I know we're figuring out, because it's confusing when everyone has different data and people need different things and people have different definitions to the data. But for you specifically, you can upload the data, and the thing that I think you can profit the most off of is people can skip trace to that data. They can subscribe to your database and then actually skip trace to it. So if you do that and it's up to date, there's a lot of people who need that info.
Yeah, I keep it. So I do it in real time, and I use hail trace. Anytime a hail trace notification sends a push notification, it triggers it to run and do RAG and compare their current client list with any of the storm events. So anyone that just got recently impacted, it'll trigger workflows to reach out and communicate to them. But with the permit data, it scores the lead way higher and reaches out to them first. So no, it's really powerful. I've been looking for a way to try to be able to scale that, because it's incredibly fast. But with the RAG functionality, you can go in and find every roof that hasn't had a permit pulled in 7 years or longer, and then you can get a highly targeted, high converting lead list. So
your stuff. Remember we're talking about enrichment. So this is hail data. So hail trace, I'm fully aware of, and a lot of people would come to me with the hail trace data for the exact reason you're mentioning. That the hail is amazing, the mapping's amazing, but the information on hail trace is old usually.
It's cold data. It's trash.
Yeah, trash. I was being polite, but
yeah.
So what we are trying to put together is not ready yet, but we can always make it faster if people jumpstart and spend some money for it. But the ability to map instantly what it is you're doing, because all hail trace is a NOAA API of longitude and latitude. This one doesn't have it, but what's longitude and latitude? It's a point on a map, and what's a point on a map? It goes to a property address. Yeah, I mean, you can basically rebuild hail trace pretty quickly with the system, where now you don't have to pay hail trace. You can just connect the APIs to NOAA and stream the data in, because what we really sell at the end of the day is bandwidth. We provide you unlimited storage because storage costs nothing. When we spend $10,000 a month on servers, 200 of it is for storage. The rest is for when you guys try to download and search and type in, I want the last name Brian because I just think I'm going to be in the database, and people want to do weird searches that take forever. This costs money. I mean, not that it costs money, but we already pay the money. It's like we pay the power bill, and it's just distributing the power over different times and figuring out charges for people based on how they use it and when they use it. But everything you're talking about this is like Snowflake or Databricks, and then kind of how we're positioning it.
So Brian, we should set up a follow-up with Case to onboard him as a data provider, and make sure that his data is available in the new marketplace. That was amazing, because this is exactly what this system is for. It's a two-sided marketplace. It's meant to benefit everybody, whether you're a data provider, whether you're looking for data, or whether again you've just had or aggregate data and you want other ways to monetize it. Like that's what we're here for. So that's amazing. So yeah, let's set up a one-on-one with Case to onboard him and make sure he has what he needs to get his stuff going.
We can add whatever. I'm looking at this right now. We can add whatever columns, because I want to keep the metadata. So when I go into a vector database, when the AI goes in for RAG into a vector database, it needs really clean metadata titles, and those can be the keywords. So say we've got a keyword database, it can reference all the data based on the keywords and go in and execute whatever analysis it needs to do. But yeah, the cleaner and the easier it is for the AI to identify, the quicker it'll run and the less bandwidth it'll take up too. But yeah, I really want to be able to do it live, because like you were saying with Hail Trace, I've been looking at WeatherStack and their API, but it's too much like that. It's a small part of what I'm doing for my clients, but it takes too much work. But I think this is the solution that I need to really kind of expedite the Hail Trace, integrating Hail Trace functionality for my roofing clients without them having to pay. I mean, they're paying $12,000 a year for Hail Trace if they get data.
Oh, that's the whole point. You can be Hail Trace and offer for half the price, and then you're more sticky. Like now they're subscribed to your software and you're offering them additional services.
Yeah. Hail Trace so I was working with them and they tried to charge me $40K when they figured, because I was like, well, I'm just going to resell unlimited Hail Trace accounts. You guys, I was like, if they're part of my agency, I can just give them a login. Y'all do that for roofing companies. I was like, every one of your clients has unlimited, sub accounts that they can create. And so I was basically just white labeling, reselling it, or trying to, and they were going to violate my user agreement. And I was like, screw this. So, and I was having to clean that data anyway. It was just a cheap data source. I was having to skip trace and clean it even further anyway, but that was way too much. This is literally everything I need. And a lot of people, man, I mean, all roofing and solar, anyone in home services, this is, literally a game changer.
And our vision case is,
what's that?
Our vision is this, man. If we can have someone else invest in some of the technology that you can build yourself, that lets us refer people to you. So I built Avoca Data as a plug. 90 to 95% of people, and Lloyd, I'll get right to you after this, but 90 to 95% of people who signed up 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I had nothing to sell them, because I would sell expectations, which are, this shit's hard. It's not easy. It will never be easy. And anyone telling you getting sales over the phone is easy is lying to you. And they're probably a coach that sells a coaching course. So this was a solution to have an answer for everybody, where, lower cost packages, this, that, the other, and to also plug in other companies that do the things I don't do. So the system's built like data visualization, where it's pretty, we'll go over it in a separate meeting, but that's awesome.
I'll say this. One of the reasons why I was so excited to join Brian at this company, and I've worked with Brian on a few things over the 10 years or so that we've known each other. He is so much about empowerment, is so much a part of like who he is as a person. And this as a goal and as an infrastructure is empowerment at its core. And it's one of the reasons I really enjoy being a part of this, is because of this right here, because you're looking for this solution. And look at how these guys, these legacy guys, their idea of defensible space is just to price gouge you as a client, rather than empower you to like go amplify what they provide as an opportunity and as a service. And it just, in the modern era, doesn't make sense to have that mentality anymore. So again, I love this stuff. And the part of it is because it's a validator for me that, yeah, what I think I know about Brian is actually what is true about Brian. And it's proven every time we do something like this. And we recognize another way that we're solving, frankly, an overpriced problem for a lot of people. So this is awesome.
Excellent. Lloyd, what question can we get to for use?
How's it going? You can hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Excellent.
Good. Yeah, I love the platform. I haven't signed up for white label yet, so that's something that I'm looking forward to doing. My partner was actually interested in data regarding like debt relief. That's pretty much the niche that he's in. So I'm assuming there's all kinds of different intent data for that.
Yeah, there's multiple. Do you do student debt or debt consolidation for credit card, personal, business? What's the main focus?
The main purpose, I think, is like credit card debt and basically lowering that through debt relief programs.
Oh, what do you know? Debt relief right there. So what I would do, so when you sign up, if you sign up, we then put together another database just for you. So
yeah.
For this guy who paid, granted, did someone look up debt relief on the 1st of February, then look it up on the 27th? It's possible, but separate timestamps.
Okay, nice. Okay, so it's basically recent databases. I guess there's tons of things that you could kind of cross filter. I'm sure there's ways to refine it.
Yeah, you can combine any combination here. So there's 27,000. So like if we just type in loan, right, like or debt relief, probably going to be multiple categories. Oh, that's because I'm in balance transfer, treasury bonds, sales leasebacks. I mean, you can get insolvency. You said credit card debt. Credit.
Yeah, it's basically like people that have over 10K or 15, 20, whatever. The more credit card debt they have, the better.
Yeah, so debt consolidation, financial turnaround, home equity, home
Nice.
equity line credit. Yeah, it gets very, very specific. Debt management, debt consolidation.
Probably
Yeah, 'cause
credit
I
repair.
figure they all overlap. People just
Yeah,
need
there
money.
is-
So there is that aspect. So I'm curious, what's the best approach? Because like I love the side of the debt. The flipping leads and stuff like that. I love that part of the business. So would it be best to kind of like sign up and sell ourselves the leads, or just buy direct, or you know what I mean?
So the flow of it is like this. So everyone gets a app.AvocaData, which is the first agency we ever made, which is
Mhm.
Data Leads. So Data Leads is the first agency from 5 years
Yeah.
ago. They're AvocaData's platform. The $0 plan, they're deploying a new update. That's why it looks like.
Mhm.
So the $0 plan, it's not a trial. You never get charged. You get 100
Yeah.
leads a month.
Yeah.
And then that will get you into here. And
Mhm.
you don't need to pay to set up a white label, but basically
Okay.
anything you buy here in your
Mhm.
custom databases
Mhm.
automatically gets attached to your purchase databases. So all the databases that you end up getting, they never expire. They never
see.
ever expire. So everything that you end up purchasing gets stacked here.
Mhm.
And within your own CRM that people sign up for, you can attach databases to them.
Yeah,
So,
we use GHL, so I like that there's an integration.
yeah, you can. It's time. I mean, you can only push 3 records a second into Go High Level
That's
without
fine.
Go High Level, but no, it works great. And if you want to get, we just got the Go High Level working again. So if anyone wants to create their Go High Level, put your
Okay,
API
awesome.
here, location ID, and if you buy a list, we'll buy one. Check out Go High Level.
And is the app still a relevant link? Because I noticed that it's an app in the marketplace.
There's multiple apps, and actually, what we're doing is if you get your white label done for a period of time and you get
Mhm.
your everything set up, we'll build
Mhm.
you an app in Go High Level. So
Oh
anyone,
my gosh, yes.
Nice, nice,
yeah,
beautiful,
this one out, better business leads, and
beautiful.
and the
That's
thing,
perfect.
yeah, and this guy didn't do his homepage, but he gets sales. He has 30 clients already doing it this way,
Wow.
5,000
Wow.
a month for 150. But then he's upcharging them coaching services. So
Oh yeah, it's a oh, that's brilliant. A low ticket data offer.
and it's all
Very
self-serve. That's the whole point. If it's self-serve, you just do your videos. There is a way to do it to the point where it's hands-off, but
Yeah.
it's not hands-off because people are always going to have questions like, how do I
Oh, for
buy
sure.
chicken franchises?
Yeah, because I have a buddy in Dubai who's a realtor, so this might be a good fit, but I'm just not sure if that data, is international or whatnot.
So we have the ability. So the whole thing, again, why do we set it up like this? Because if we don't have data, somebody has it. Data's data. With the phone number, it's out there. So, all right, come on in, build a database, and all said and done, now you can go off and just like nothing,
Yeah.
start showing a new database that wasn't there moments ago. It takes maybe about 20 minutes for everything to load into it. And then
So
you
these
play.
are like preset kind of like searches that become a database that are dynamic, that basically repopulate every whatever month or so.
Correct, exactly. And you can change the database you want month after month, and you don't get access to anything previously. So the only thing that you're throttled by is 5,000 records a minute. With that 5,000 records a minute, you can resell that through your white label. And you saw that person selling 5,000 records a month, 150. There's a million different ways you can chop it up and make some money.
Beautiful. And in terms of the recency, what's the average in terms of, is it like per month, per week, per day, per minute?
Per month.
Per month.
But this whole, we're setting up APIs directly into it, figuring out what the most common databases are.
Nice.
But for now, you just have to contact us and we update it 24 hours later.
If you have something where you need, weekly updated data, just hit us up. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out a solution.
So it's not the uploading. Go high level. Unlimited is never unlimited, right? So we optimized our system to do a lot of data. However, a lot of other systems were not engineered to take in that much data. So there's a bottleneck between what it is we're able to do and what it is like Go High Level can ingest. Like they can ingest up to 10 records a second. But I've been working with their engineers, and if you keep doing that with multiple accounts at the same time, it times it out. It's currently the only limit. We're actually working with Go High Level to resell their bandwidth so you can ingest it faster. Because right now our ingestion is just throttled. Like we can push 5,000 records a minute. That's our limit, 5,000 a minute, and we can handle like 10,000 accounts doing that.
Wow.
Go High Level can only accept 600 a minute if you did at the 10 per minute, but even that doesn't work well with them. And so we're literally meeting with them back and forth, figuring out the best way to throttle it. Because if you send 500,000 records into Go High Level and they're not prepared, that's basically a DDoS indirectly. But
the bright side is we're working directly with them and their dev team to do that. Just a heads up, Ryan, I see Deepak has his hand up too, so I don't know if we finished with Lloyd. But
I just I had one other question, which was the So the $4.99 a month plan, that gets you unlimited leads, but just 5,000 records per minute. Is that how it works?
Correct. And obviously, so to you, it's 10 minutes unlimited without a doubt. You can download everything. The 5,000 a minute just ties to a white label. So if you have 100 users trying to download your data, if at any minute of time it goes over 5,000 records in a minute, it times out, and then you have to upgrade your system, or we have to reset it so that you don't go over 5,000 a minute. Basically, we give it to you without guardrails, and we tell you what the guardrails are. But if you break it, that's an easier upsell for us. It's like, okay, this is what you did. You can either tell you some users coming at 2 a.m. and I'll save you some money, or upgrade them and charge them more, one or the other.
And is there any guidelines in terms of using it compliantly, like in terms of doing outreach and outbound and stuff like that?
This is what I have to say about that. It's all illegal, but the government just fired like the FCC. So if it's not being enforced, is it illegal? So that's go on Google, find your own interpretations. But in terms of a risk environment, it is the lowest it's been in a very long time. In terms of
that's interesting.
Because that's the way I look at it. It's who's going to enforce it, and not who's going to literally who's going to enforce it when you fire half the people. So they're not looking at you and me at this point. They're looking at big scammers.
The whoever's got the money basically, and the scammers too.
Exactly.
And in terms of in terms of getting set up, because some of the places inside the community sound a bit similar, so I'm not sure what would be the best place to start.
So the best place to start is just the $0 one, and that's why I make it there, because then you get access to play with everything. Like just know what you can download. You can list the white label, but you can't sell anything. It won't let you integrate your payment merchant. This is at least to get your beat wet and get an idea. But
I just registered an account last night, so in terms of setting it up so that it integrates into GHL, that's a different training, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's not even training. It's just you just go to the little avocado on the top right, and then under manage profile, you have your GoHub API keys.
We got a couple of verticals that we're looking data for. I'm not looking to take this platform and sell the data, but we're looking to give it to our sales and marketing team. We have like 2 different verticals in your $4.99 package. So if I have like 2 verticals and I needed data for 2 different verticals, so it has to be the $7.99 package. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. And then so the price comes down as you buy more. So if you get 10 of them, it goes down to $250 each. So it's $2,500.
So other thing within the first vertical, I'm using an example for commercial cleaning. So when people do this intent data, they would put commercial cleaning, janitorial, day porter, or XYZ different keywords they would put in. So I would be able to download all of those. It's just not one keyword of the people for commercial cleaning. I can give you a set of keywords that people go on Google and do it and forward it to you. And that would be under commercial cleaning.
So if this page right here, you can find all different types. So I just typed in cleaning. Actually, I'm gonna type in clean. And there's here's baby wipes. Now let's look at services, business services.
So business services could, industrial cleaning.
Yeah,
that is one.
So the cleaning services under the subcategories. Let me window cleaning, commercial cleaning, green cleaning, move in, move out.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you did commercial cleaning, it would probably pick all of these up.
Yes.
So you wouldn't have to do them individually. But if you wanted to do multiple databases, one for industrial, one for gutter, one for maid services, there are 3 different ones. You know what I mean? You can have merged together. If they're merged together, you can't identify what keyword it used though. That's the only caveat there.
So if you can go up, let's say on the commercial, industrial cleaning, then office cleaning, and there was one up before, and commercial cleaning. If I want to get the data for these 3, so that would be one set, or that would be like 3 different categories?
If you were to merge them all together, it's one.
Okay.
But if you want them as 3 individual databases, then it's 3 sets. Any one database is equal to up to a set of 100 keywords.
Okay. And once I like the services, because I have burned my hand on the data at different places and it doesn't come up good. Hopefully this is my end stop and I don't have to go anywhere else. So I could try with one of the vertical, and if it is good, then I can upgrade or I start all over again.
Yeah, you can upgrade, and the price is elastic. So I mean, you're not, if you upgrade a little bit later, you still save money. It doesn't cost anything more technically from paying for a smaller package fare.
Okay, that's all I had to ask.
So yeah, actually, it reminded me of what I wanted to ask in terms of, so the free plan gets you 1 database, and how many databases for each of the plans?
So the free plan actually gives you everything.
Okay.
download 100 just because I want people to be able to look through everything. But
Yeah.
there's one of everything for the most part. And then on the $4.99, there's multiple things you get. So the first thing you get is all the traditional and classic databases. So they're public records that were skip traced. Businesses came from Secretary of State, and the homeowner came from the tax assessment records. So it's all fixed off of starting point. Custom databases, this is the 1, 2, 3, 10 that you get to customize. And the reason they're here is because this ID, the Shade 256, was on a website that they were on the website authorized.net. So people who the authorized.net user login portal, I used that as a keyword. I found 442,000 people. I mean, why? Because different merchant processors. If you use authorized, you might be in the market for more, and you know more about the market if you use authorized, not just Stripe. And then we also have a Stripe login. So if you actually this is people interested, people looking to start Stripe accounts. But it's unlimited.
Beautiful. Thanks for that. It's interesting because I'm also involved in this other tech project. The developer, he's kind of doing kind of like a competitor to Palantir. They're big databases and stuff, but it's all over my head. So I think this is more practical what you guys are doing. Well, whatever works.
Cool. Like that's what's cool about this. If there's other data providers, the whole point of this is for us to give great access to data. Where traditionally we need, at the bare minimum, you would need Snowflake, bare minimum, and at a little bit higher level, your architect your own, cloud server with Google. But yeah, I mean that's what we're trying to bridge. What we believe we can make data providers more money by increasing the access of businesses that can monetize data. We should write that down.
I agree 100% with what you're saying. We're in an era that's going to empower small businesses unlike never before. Now small businesses can compete with AI and the advancements that are happening and platforms like this. One person now has the power of 10 to 15 people. And it's going to be interesting to see how entrepreneurs start to evolve in this new landscape.
Yeah, it's all converging. That's what your site is. It's essentially a convergence of buyers and sellers of data, which is beautiful, and all the little
Infrastructure
segments and stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Are there user profiles like not like a social media style, but are there user profiles of the data provider? Kind of validates.
You give us as much information of what you want developed, because that's all front end easy stuff. Like I'm a back end guy, so I for 5 years I've only worked on back end, and this is the only front end we ever did. So the more, that's very useful. So that's what I was trying to say. Making social media networking back and forth.
Well, there is in the roadmap. There definitely is going to be, because what we want people to do is kind of rate or rank data providers, right? And we want that to be sort of very visible, because we want people who provide high quality data to be rewarded. So it's definitely in the roadmap.
We should definitely follow up on that as well, because I've got something that I've been working on for performance marketing in general, to create a network, right, of trusted marketers. Because obviously it's so saturated with, especially home services is saturated with all kinds of scammers. But if it, and really the way I was thinking of doing it would be on the blockchain and rewarding people for data, like data providing or anything that they do, and the more exchanges they do, the higher credibility they have. But if I could look at somebody's profile and see what their specialty or their niche was and what databases that they have available, and I could do a little research on them, right, it would lead me to want to purchase, their unique data because of the way that they're filtering and pulling it, right? I see that they're a successful business and they've got this data available. It would drive me to probably purchase it.
Yeah, and data's a commodity. Data is worthless if it's not in the right place at the right time in the right hands. So, our whole viewpoint is data is absolutely worthless. It's the system and method to deliver it to the right people. And then I go back to Bloomberg Terminal, where as soon as this happened, when they digitalized it, that's when the market increased. That's when you've seen substantial increases, because you didn't have traders and an underground railroad sending, like in New York City, up and down Times Square, up and down to Wall Street. There was, and there still is, I think, an underground railroad just for bringing the stock trades back and forth to make it fast. And then it got computerized. So, that's kind of what we're trying to do with data, try to consolidate as much of this as possible to simplify it for the end user who ends up needing to actually do the thinking of how to use it. And the thinking's the hard part. And that's making it easy to access and easy to combine.
I use the data that I'm using right now for my roofing. It's Deal Machine. It's a real estate software, and you don't only get it's high quality data, but you get 100,000 exports a month, and it's $500. So this is way better. But so you can filter by like square footage and home size as well in here. If I want to target a specific zip code and I want every house to be no less than 2,000 square feet, I mean, I can do all that filtering.
Yes. And the reason why I got excited about you is I stopped doing this for the most part. I have the original records I have, and they're seeded to keep enriching and updating, but there's a lot of counties that don't make it public. So I mean, if I was going to look up, can't think of the city, but like if you look at Maryland, there's some counties that are just not there because the data isn't available. There's plugs you can do that people are always looking for as well. But you can do purchase year, income, purchase price, beds, bath. There are more filters too that just aren't on the side. Assessed price, assessed year, tax acre.
Yeah, I like the home size filtering. I can guarantee the roof size by the square footage. A roof is typically 2x the interior floor space. So I build roofing call centers and can guarantee them, right? I set it up to where they'll never show up to a lead if the house is less than, usually 1,800 square feet. 2,000 limits the data too much, depending on like the population density of the area. But I feel like, man, adding the permit data into here would be the only thing that could make it any better. And this is, I mean, you could literally just crank out like really, really high quality lead lists. Right after a storm. I mean, like the second that it happens.
Yeah, and with those, we're going to talk about integrating something custom to just feed in the hailstorms from NOAA.
There's some middleware stuff for sure that I've been working on. I have not worked with the NOAA, but I mean, really, I think it's just, really putting a Google map, using the Google Maps API places.
No, Google Maps is too expensive. So that's the thing. Like now you have to think about cost. Google Maps is the Rolls Royce.
Gotcha.
Guys, they charge so that's the company. What we do is like, this is the way we're thinking about it. NOAA gives you longitude and latitude. You can make your own database of coordinates, longitude and latitude, put a range between them, and then have an address set between that range, and you just built your own pretty quickly. And then now it's just bandwidth speed, how fast you want to upload the hail records and map it. But that's all that would need to be done. I mean, we already have the ability to upload. It's just the only missing piece would be the common sense and logic to put it together on the front end. It's a little bit of a budget, but that's it could take 2 weeks to get your own hail trace rebuilt.
I mean, people can't pay monthly for hail trace either. They have to pay for a full year, and they charge them by the city. Like the whole country is like the $12K a month package. But man, so many people, especially in roofing, there's very low barrier for entry if you want to start your own company. And so these guys that branch off and start their own thing is who I really target for my SaaS. Because it's, the full marketing, full CRM, everything in a box for them, right? And the more automated, the better, because the roofers don't know how to use it. They'll go work the data, right? So as long as it's easy for them and it's high converting, you can really like build a pretty big client base.
Our goal by the end of this is just that simple. So forget all this stuff below, particularly Google, where if you're a roofer, you can say, I'm looking for people in a hailstorm, and now you connect all the databases. You have the database of hail. It's tied to a map. And maybe there's a database of people that someone has a better database of property records. They don't like your property records, but they like the hail records you have. Like if you know what Clay is, except it's much more affordable because all of the different apps are users. They're not companies that have venture capital funds that invested in them at an overvalued price.
So it's hedging against, oh, wow. It's
hedging against VCs because, Apollo only does 20 million in revenue and they're worth 1.5 billion. Clay does 6 million in revenue. They're worth 1.25. That's wasteful. Actually, if you can get manpower, woman power, whatever you want to call it, of everybody that's already doing it, that knows what they're doing, like they're a roofer, not a venture capital firm. So we have
Robin Hood of data. It's like the GameStop hedging against the VCs, but this is like my mind is
everybody, like MongoDB, Snowflake, all of the, it's five systems in one I built over the years.
And listen, in reality, Clay may be in trouble. They raised $47 million so far, $1.2 billion valuation, and just announced they're going to do an equity crowdfunding round.
Community
I
investment.
don't know.
Yeah, you don't raise $47 million and need to go on LinkedIn to do a community investment. And that ties right into what I'm saying, community. No one can be successful in business, in my opinion, unless they have a different ecosystem of people. And that ecosystem, I believe, is like 5 different layers. I mean, the first layer is obviously the data. The second layer needs to be the guys that know copy, marketing, script, and all that. But then there's a third layer. How do you get your emails to deliver in bulk? How do I use the technology that I have to not get blocked by spam, and how to get people to answer a phone or book an appointment? Then you have someone to do the appointment, and then you have someone that needs to close. And I do not believe any one agency can do all those things. And that's what I built my core belief off of, where I got started selling $500 a month. I gave you 5,000 records and go high level before A2P, when it was much, much easier. And slowly I faded out of providing go high level. I'll just send people a referral link for the $99 one and say, hey, look, this is go high level. Be aware of all the scams out there, people trying to sell you a $15,000 package that's going to make you rich. And here, just pay the $99, you'll be fine. And now you're just turning into a guy who provides data, who can have a meeting like this and provide oversight on how to use the data versus coaching each step of the way and done for you. So, I mean, I would say in the very beginning, if you're going to do the white label, it's very important to try your best to break off any agency work so you don't turn into the guy they always have to go to, because you tap out around 30 grand. Like if you can't figure out how to get like a SaaS going recurringly where you're not involved, you usually tap out around 30 grand. And then once you start getting these SaaS elements of the recurringness or within the data element, that's when you can upsell yourself 5,000-10,000 a month to be hands-on for 10 hours a month. Because now you have all this other passive income stream. You are delivering on something and you're not coming out of the gate saying, I need 10 grand. You delivered them an option much less expensively and they still want to pay you. And it just makes light. Like when I sell, I don't need to sell. People already know what they want to upgrade to. And it's just taking an order like at McDonald's. I've been finding.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to say we're coming down to the final few minutes here, last 8 minutes or so of the room. Any last questions as we kind of wind it down? And then let's get back to work and let's get busy building. But go ahead and let's start winding it down. What do you got?
Just real quick, do you have a template for that DAS page that you showed that of one of those clients? Dude, I thought I saw somewhere that you guys had a high level funnel template.
So not in high level, but are you talking about the white label for this?
Yeah. Well, where he had the packages for like $150 a month or something. It was just a really clean page.
Yeah. So every single white label on AvocaData has this page.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, this is standard on your AvocaData white label.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so she charges $1,000 a month, but she does a lot of hands-on with them. So you must schedule an appointment to confirm. And this is so she's subsidizing people through these smaller packages. Doesn't help them with go high level, and that's the very big important thing. You anyone buying data from you, anyone that's coming in buying it that hasn't done it before, that thinks they're gonna get rich and it's gonna be easy. That is the guy to slap in the face and say, this is not going to be easy. Are you sure you want to do this? And I would, because the data works. I use it myself. I wouldn't get 1.5 1.1 emails delivered, million emails delivered if it didn't.
Sure.
The thing is, how do you replicate? I use Lead Connector, and that blows everybody's mind. It blows mine because I don't know how I'm doing it, but it sure as heck is working. And the core thing I do is with the emailing, send something interesting. So if someone's looking up roofing. We have a lot of interesting things going on in the global trade world and tariffs. Just write articles about tariffs, one a day, to send at 6 a.m. That is something that affects every American that we are all receptive to. Now you're not talking about installing a roof. You just have an appointment at the very, very, very bottom of your educational up-to-date email, letting people know that, well, look at this. If you're ever interested in meeting with me because you'd like to discuss your options, you can, whenever you want, book an appointment. And your email is the newspaper. It is the first thing someone reads when they wake up. Now make the headline attractive so they open it, and don't make it a sale. That's stressful to read first thing in the morning when you have to spend money. But, this is just talking about, what is a custom database? What is solar? And I'm defining words. You see, just defining things. And ChatGPT does this great, just guide it a little bit. And then now there's a little plug right here. And this isn't even talking about paying me. This is just telling how you can make money selling data, just like we're talking about now. And my calendar has never been like this before. And I used to always think 5 years ago, and I was much more immature, that all the marketing guys were just full of shit trying to get me to spend money. And then I finally learned myself that they weren't wrong. Like, this is my end result. Bring on someone else to help close sales because our only appointment guy that's doing it, he can't keep up, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it's people try to overcomplicate these crazy formulas for email. Here's my theory. Cookieless tracking is very big now. Google likes to promote it because they like to say we don't track you anymore, but they really just found another way. I strongly believe that if you send emails and a certain group of people keep opening them, they increase the deliverability rate, because my emails, the first few emails have the lowest open rate, like probably 4 or 5%, 7%. But if we go all the way down, after time has gone on, this open rate starts increasing, 9%.
98% deliverability. Wow.
And yeah, and I really think it. Yeah, so see, the deliverability goes up because it starts weeding out the people that are bad, and which is fine. But now it weed everybody out. We had enough bounces, 2%, 1%, 2%, 2%, and it finally failed everyone out. And my click-through rate's 0.5%. My theory is if someone that's similar to me is opening emails every day, and 2 years later they're still opening them, Google will let a cold email go through to someone similar to that. You follow what I'm saying there?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just my theory, not proven, but I do think that could possibly be it, because what can explain this going up other than it weeding out people who don't care and it's delivering the people who might care? I mean, my open rate isn't that good comparatively. But when I do opted in people, it's about 35%.
How is the phone connection rate? What do you know the numbers people are seeing on their dialer? Is it pretty high connect with all cell phones?
I do it as a barometer, right? These databases, I believe, have the highest connection rate. Only saying that because I actually built them. These databases, there's multiple phone numbers, and I'm still skip tracing them to get to the best one. Like I'm reverse looking it up I'm working backwards. I don't trust what anything says, so I'm figuring it out myself. So this is the new phone number column that I'm doing myself of skip trace, that I'm basically, okay, I found this number in 3 different places. It shows it's up to date. And it's a verification of the mobile phone. So the mobile phone we got first, and then the skip trace wireless we got second. I have mixed reviews on these. I have some people that do very well, and then there's some people that don't at all, and then there's some people that stick with it, and they're like, oh wow, I got a few appointments. Like Tim, as an instance, stuff wasn't working, and then he was only giving it a go for 2 or 3 weeks, and he finally figured out the better strategy. I mean, it took me 5 years to figure out my strategy, and every day I evaluate how this is working so I can all right, this had 15% open rate. Why did it? And technically this had a higher click-through rate, being less people opened it, but the same amount of people clicked it. So, I mean, I would just start observing, why is this the case, to keep making better decisions.
Is there a way to filter in high level to export the list of the click-through, anyone who clicked?
They do not make that easy in the slightest bit.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but
I think, actually, let's see, view detail. Oh, right here, view details export. There you go. You have to do it per email though.
you can only do it for email, you said?
I think you can only do it per email, like one email each. I don't think there's a bulk way you can do it yet.
Well, yeah. So like, I'm wondering, I mean, what you could do in like one of my RAG systems, you could literally feed all the ones that were over like a 13 or 14% click rate, all of your email campaigns, and then create more targeted campaigns based on the right, the way that those emails were written and
it doesn't let you export. That's so stupid. Look at this. It doesn't let you export the big batch of them. That's so stupid. Why?
That is stupid. Yeah, because oh man, you could train your email generator so well over the
really what it comes down to is data transfer. Because the data transfer is coming through there, they would have to consolidate all the email opens into one report and push that data here. And that's really the real problems we try to solve, is how do you
All right, everybody, we are at the top of the hour. I know we could do this all day because we love this stuff, and that's frankly why we show up and why we can keep on building. So I appreciate everybody participating. Definitely all the questions are always super helpful. I look forward to